evening. Well, hello, Dan. How you doing, chap?
You know that picture that we have in our opening titles?
Yeah.
Do you remember the ginger fellow on the end?
Mark.
Yes, fake Mark.
Fake Mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
So welcome to Sunday night's 9 p.m. best and most fantastic premiere Star Trek show. First of all, we must, as always, say hello to my colleague James
Good evening.
and my colleague Dan's forehead. Good evening, Gary. I hope you didn't get too hot in your swimming pool this afternoon. Good evening, Christoph. Good evening, Victoria. Good evening, Adam. Good evening, Roy.
Back again.
Good evening, Michael. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Mike.
And he agree. What does he agree with? Well, we'll save that, and I'll put.
Whenever we make an assertion, we'll go back to that.
Brexit was a really bad idea. Hey.
It
The lovely Emma.
It never
Handy.
sets sunsets on the Empire.
The sun sets on the Empire.
The sun never sets on the Empire. There we are.
Hey.
Yeah.
Discovery.
Discovery Klingons are rubbish.
Hey. I'm so pleased they finally cancelled Discovery. Hey.
Well, speaking of cancellations, there's been some news this week,
There's
isn't there?
been
Richard?
some news, yeah. So Star Trek Prodigy has been cancelled
After one season.
Yeah, I have to admit, I did enjoy the first season of Discovery,
No.
Prodigy, but I was. If anyone else is one of these, I call them noticers. I notice things that I probably shouldn't have done, and the very last episode of Prodigy, a lot of the VFX shots were wrong. And I know it's a completely computer generated, but what's the name of the thing that was gas that just had legs?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
It didn't really stick in the mind.
like in one shot, the legs weren't there. They'd forgotten to put them on. Seriously, look, Google it. I'm not making it up. Like, and then another shot,
Do you remember when
the
that
legs are
happened
back.
with Neelix? Because it's not generally known that he was completely CGI.
But this is true though. Honestly, they've cocked a lot of stuff up at the front, and I felt that's a bit odd. They've released it looking crap like that. You know, that was a bit odd. So
The Protostar was cool though, wasn't it?
yeah, I thought it was very child friendly. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Which there we go.
I liked that it printed its own shuttles and things. That was cool.
No one knows who will ever see. Okay. I see. So it's kind of like they've made it, but it might not be released.
What's the point of making it not
Well,
releasing
they're going to try and make like a legend of it, presumably.
it? Is that like that Batwoman film that they screen tested and said this is so bad we're not going to bother letting it out?
I've probably got to get this out of the way now. I've got a confession to make to you, James.
Hmm.
I went to go and see The Flash.
Oh, well, you went without me.
Yeah, I went without you.
Thanks.
I'm sorry.
Was it worth it for the Michael Keaton scenes?
It was. I enjoyed it.
Were you able to see past the Ezra, whatever his name is?
He was brilliant in it.
Was he?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I know the guy's meant to be an utter tool in real life, but as an actor, he's good, and I thoroughly enjoyed the film. But back
You went
to
to a nice air-conditioned cinema and didn't take me.
I went to a lovely air-conditioned cinema with reclining seats, and I went with my brother to the late-night viewing at the View.
Hmm.
The 9 o'clock one. There was literally myself and my brother in the whole cinema to ourselves. So it didn't matter how short I am. That no one 7-foot monster sat in front of me, and it was just
Did a lady come around with a tray round her neck selling ice creams and albatrosses?
Yes, but she was selling cigarettes.
Right. Cool.
But yeah, it was really good. Linda says they're removing it from. Well, I mean, I'm not sure how you noticed because I've never been able to get the Paramount Plus app to work. So.
Let's have a straw poll. Has anyone actually got a working version of Paramount Plus, and what do you make of it?
It's rubbish. And there's of course a petition to save Prodigy.
Well, there you have it.
Well, that's a petition that they have created to. And if you would like to sign the petition,
There's the link.
change.org. Isn't that for like real things?
Isn't that crowdfunder.
I don't know. But either way, that's for those of you that were big fans of Prodigy.
Sorry, it all over.
Yeah, it's all over. It's really sad. Yeah, exactly. I cancelled my Paramount subscription and cancelled the app, and I watched it through Amazon Prime instead because it works.
But Emma, what would George Takei say?
Oh my! So, Dan, you're a little quiet over there, mate. You've really got to speak up because in a moment we're going to talk about Strange New Worlds, which you haven't seen. It's going to be up to you whether you want to mute yourself. We'll let you know when we finish talking about it. It's up to you. We don't talk about it yet, though. Bear in mind. Richard, hey Richard, how you doing, buddy? Paramount keeps dropping out.
Paramore.
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
And apparently also their keyboard's crap.
But
But no, exactly the same. The most frustrating thing I found, Richard, was that you couldn't kind of activate your Paramount Plus subscription on Prime. You have to cancel it and then sign up to it again through Amazon Prime. Or you can use our plane service that shuttles us all over the globe.
yes, when we fly over to catch premieres of things, yeah.
But there we are. So I watched all of the first season of Prodigy, and I have to say that my son really enjoyed it. So he'll be sad to hear there's not going to be a season 2.
Do they get to Earth and do the Cylons catch them?
Turns out the Cylons are basically AI in every Terran planet.
Oh,
So no matter where you go,
there they are.
when AI, well, basically when mowers start mowing the lawn themselves, that's when you got to worry.
That's a Cylon.
Yeah, that's a Cylon basically.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's bad news about Prodigy. I don't think I've seen the end of it so far. Maybe I won't bother.
Yeah, my son enjoyed it, and I certainly watched it. Over the years, I've considered it to be a program I have watched.
Okay. High praise.
Yeah. Certainly got my son more interested into Voyager, but not as interested as 7 and 9 maybe. He's nearly 13. But there we go. So that's how it goes.
Yes, it was all her pithy one-liners that obviously drew us in.
So Sky Paramount Plus. So you can get the Paramount Plus app on Sky, and that works pretty well.
Oh, can you? I didn't know that.
Works fine on Android and my desktop PC browser, and navigation could be better, but it works. So yeah, so there are other ways of getting Paramount Plus other than obviously the one I was using. But I would recommend just ditching the standalone app and getting it through your Prime subscription.
So it turns out that there was a Strange New Worlds immersive experience in London this week. Did you see that, Richard? Anson Mount and Chapel. What's her name? Bush. Jess Bush.
Nurse Chapel.
Yes. They were there being interviewed by the ever greasy-haired Alex Zane. No? Okay.
All right, so...
Yeah, there was an event that was so well advertised, no one knew about it.
So, we need to talk about the latest episode of Strange New Worlds.
Yes.
So, the wonderful Trekkie girls spoke about this.
Bye, Dan.
Bye, Dan. The Trekkie girls spoke about Strange New Worlds last night, Friday night on their show.
Friday night.
And
they were effusive.
Yes,
in their
and
praise.
I love their enthusiasm for all things Trek, and it's wonderful. But I'm afraid, well, what would you mark this episode out of 10, James?
5.
You're going to give it a 5.
I'm going to give that 5.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10.
Oh, that's a little harsh.
If it was an episode of Discovery, I'd give it a 5. This is an episode of Strange New Worlds. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10. I thought it was absolutely shocking. Absolutely ridiculous.
Did you?
Well, it was toffee. It was terrible.
Well,
I
looking
think
at
it's
it
one of
through
the-
my professional glasses, I just thought that as courtroom dramas went, that was preposterous.
Well, let's have a look back at some of the.
But that's how you mount a defence, is it? To suddenly throw in an asylum claim in the middle of your closing speech? You can't do that. You get laughed out of court.
Well, let's look back at some. I mean, there was the great episode of DS9 where Worf's on trial. You had the Klingon proconsul. You obviously had the trial in the film.
Undiscovered
Country.
Mhm.
The Drumhead, Measure of a Man, and all of those great episodes. And do you know what was underpinning all of those great episodes is because there was something nefarious lurking in the background. It wasn't just a straightforward, like when you watch Perry Mason Investigates. If it's just a courtroom drama,
with the great Raymond Burr.
Yeah, it's gonna be boring. You've got to have something actually going. You've got to have some creepy Romulan in the background trying to sabotage it. He's got to be caught by someone. Bluntly, what I'm saying is there needed to be something other than just the courtroom drama going on. You needed a bit of intrigue. You needed a bit of action. You can't go for
a subplot.
You need a subplot. The story was really important,
or even a main plot.
Well, the main plot was telling a very important story, but to get people interested in it, I think you have. It's not enough just to say, "Well, this is an important message," and think that will sell the story. You've got to have some action in it. You've got to have some Star Trek in it for me, and there was none. Literally nothing at all. It was that bad, and the biggest. Sorry, this is turning into a rant now. So I'll let no. I'll back off now and let you put some thoughts in, James.
Well, I'll put it this way: if I was the prosecuting counsel, this would have been my approach. Lieutenant Commander Chin Riley, is that really your name? Yes. Did you lie on your application form? Yes. Prosecution rests. Thank you, Your Honour.
Again, that wouldn't make it. But if I may rant a bit more, the most annoying thing about this. The thing that really irked me is the actress they brought in to do the I forgot the Rika was the character's name as the defence. I've forgotten her name. Reefer. I don't know.
The defence lawyer in this.
Yeah. So they brought in this actress who was well below par. I mean, she was not a good actress. Like in the past, when you bring in like someone to support a great cast of actors, you get in a real ringer. You get some good guest stars in.
Yes.
This particular actress was famous for being the voice in a video game of Call of Duty. That's the most. She's never traveled more in her life. Yeah, that's literally all she's famous for. She couldn't act, and more frustratingly, there wasn't a single line that she delivered that couldn't have been delivered by better actors they already had on the payroll. There's no reason Spock couldn't have delivered those lines. There's no reason Pike couldn't deliver those lines. There was no purpose in bringing her in. None whatsoever. Apart from showing how good the rest of the cast can act, and there's no point in bringing in these.
Anson Mount didn't really have much to do, did he? He just sat there and watched it.
Like, what's the purpose of having a lead main cast of such quality and talent when you're going to bring in someone from outside that, quite frankly, may be a good actress one day, but right now should stick to voicing video games? It was awful.
Now, let's just be clear, Richard. We really like Strange New Worlds, don't we?
Very much so. That's why I've scored this a 1 out of 10.
This is why this is such a disappointing
Very
fall
disappointing.
from form.
Yeah, massive fall from form.
Yeah.
But, as always, the Trekkie girls are the calming yin to our raging yang. And I know a lot.
See how in the balance.
And I know that a lot of people really enjoyed this episode, and I'm really pleased that you have, because this episode did have a really important message in there. For me personally, that's what always makes me angry when they have an episode with an important message, and sadly they think the message is enough to sell the story, and they don't bother with a decent story. You know, they get someone to write it with a big fistful of crayons. I mean, well, that's the other thing. Like the lead writer in this. Do you know what he's famous for writing? I shit you not.
Is it a beer commercial?
Worse.
What?
His other known thing he's written.
Oh, is it a Lady Shave commercial?
Worse.
I don't know what.
He wrote Batman and Robin, the Batman film with George Clooney. Seriously, that's how bad this writer
Holy
is.
rusted metal, Batman.
That's how bad he is. he wrote the Batman and Robin, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, that awful turkey of a film.
Chill out.
I think that actually got
I'll
voted
put you in the cooler.
the worst film of all time. In
I'll
many,
put
many
you on
polls.
ice.
And he also produces Discovery. So it's yeah, it was just a
The
shit
warning
show from
signs
start.
were there then. Really,
Yeah,
weren't they?
it's. I watched it and I was embarrassed.
Well, perhaps we better have a look at some of the comments there.
Let's have a look. So let's find out. So first of all, obviously we need to.
Obviously,
Obviously-
see what Mike has to say.
Mike, well, yeah. Christoph, he really enjoyed it. Fantastic. Really, again,
9.5 out of 10.
but generally, if you have enjoyed it, I'm really pleased that you have. Loved all the homage and series, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, wasn't the Chips putting in the job and the outfits
And the
with
bell.
everything, the costumes, the props. Yeah, really good.
But the
Brilliant.
courtroom was
Loved it.
very nice.
Oh,
I liked
really
all
good.
those reliefs on the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather they spent the money on a good actress, but yeah, that was really good. Oh, not again, Richard. Not again. How many were in your freezer this time? Anderson was on paternity leave, so an minor role was written for him in the first one. That's interesting, but at the same time,
Well, I mean, he was
Hey, Mike.
physically in the room. He
Michael.
could have done some
well,
work.
so genuinely, if I'd written the episode,
Mm.
I genuinely thought all those lines would have been that the advocate the defense lawyer had to speak, would have been better spoken by Spock, because he's experienced similar.
Oh.
Well, because he's experienced similar prejudice and everything. It's like it was written for him. Like it would have been perfect for him.
Can we talk about
And
the
he's a
Spock
monk.
scene, though?
Oh, it's marvelous.
I'm sorry you had to see that.
Should we reenact it now?
I disagree with you, Admiral.
Very well.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah, but no, it felt like that episode was written for Spock to be the defense lawyer. I mean, why would you bring in someone that can't act to do it? I just okay. Not really. No, it just. I mean, perhaps there's going to be something down the line. Maybe it'll tie it in, but there wasn't a single line.
Sorry, Christoph. That's an outrageous claim. All of Picard season 3.
No, it's just there wasn't a line. There was some lines outside the courtroom, perhaps, but nothing in that courtroom that was relevant at all delivered by her. Nothing. Yes, the one with the bat and the nipples. Or was that
The bat
Val Kilmer?
nipples.
The bat nipples. Yeah. Sorry, fell asleep during your. Well, luckily for you, I can do it all again.
Don't worry, Gary. We're going to go to the pub after this. You can join us there.
So there we are. So yeah, Jenny, if you disagree, please, fantastic. I think it's wonderful if you can disagree with James and I. And if you thoroughly enjoyed it, I'm really pleased you enjoyed it. Personally, I think they need to push themselves. What is it? Coach Beard says to Nate, "Do better.
Yes.
You're better than this.
Mm.
Do better. Strange New Worlds. Do better. You are better than this. You'll get yourselves down the path of discovery if you carry on with this crap."
Okay, let's move on from Strange New Worlds then.
Should we back and Dan back?
Shall we let Dan back in? Crew, crew, crew.
We can't hear you, Dan.
Greetings.
So I've just upset all our viewers. Again.
Right. So, should I do my feature now?
Go for it.
Yes.
As you know, we have some contacts in the Star Trek world, and we have an exclusive to announce, which is there's going to be a new Star Trek series.
Marvellous. Okay.
So
Another new series.
we have been sent a
Run it over, doesn't it?
teaser, if one would like to see it.
Oh, titillate me, please.
Mm.
looked like Lord Old Bollocks to me. You know? I like the bit at the end where she was getting sucked out of the chair. That looked good.
That's blown out.
Do you think that was a stunt woman, or do you think that was Gates?
Do you think they rotated the whole bridge set onto one end so that she could be hanging upside down from it?
I reckon they probably did.
Yeah,
Or
that's how I'd do it.
no, I would use big fan.
A
A really big fan, or two
big fans.
two really big fans. Yeah.
No. You don't want the blowing effects, you want the sucking effects. You use a big Hoover, and to get that look of absolute fear off her, what you do is you put a wood chipper at the end, so she knows that if she doesn't hold on tight, there is actual real world consequences.
Well, we can only see the back of her glorious red mane, so who knows?
So there we have it. That's what's going to be replacing Prodigy, and I, for one, will be tuning in.
Star Trek Crusher. We are looking forward to this.
I mean, if it's like Quincy, I could watch it.
Mm.
I liked Quincy. Quincy was. Do you remember Quincy?
Quincy, you're a pathologist. Why are you out investigating crime?
Because as is similar in many countries across our humble planet, the police don't do their job. So you haven't got a lot of choice, really. You've got to get in there.
Sam, pass me a slide. I've got to go out and investigate some crime.
Exactly that.
Maybe we
Quincy
can
was played by the actor Jack Klugman, and I happen to know a surgeon called Jack Klugman.
Did you? Were you ever at Broadstairs surgery? Did you ever have Dr. Death? We had a doctor called Dr.
But
Death.
I have seen many documents signed by Dr. Death.
Dr. Death, but yeah,
Dr. Diath.
Yeah, Dr.
as I believe it
Diath.
was pronounced.
Yeah, Dr. Diath. Doctor, yeah, doctor. What doctor have I got? Dr. Death.
Yeah, I was going to say, what were we talking about?
Quincy. Oh, Ironside.
Oh, yeah. A Quincy and Columbo type crossover. That's what we want.
Also played by Raymond Burr. Ironside.
But also played by. Did he play Quincy as well?
No, he played Perry Mason, who we name checked earlier.
What? So, but that neither of them played Quincy.
No, Jack Klugman played Quincy.
So I'm just demonstrating how much older than James is. Oh, mate, honestly, when that last episode of Ted Lasso, I mean, I was okay. I was doing all right up until the bit where Rebecca was at the airport, and just to get through security, she bought a first class ticket. And I went to pieces.
Force of habit. Yeah.
And I tell you why I went to pieces, because the joke was so good. Yeah, the joke was so good, and I was just so emotional. And I went to absolute pieces. And I mean, obviously, I didn't cry, but
no, you didn't have an emotion.
No. I'll tell you what did happen. My upper lip just there just went.
Did it wobble slightly?
It went terribly stiff. I had a lip action to fight back the emotion that I almost felt. It really was. Oh, wasn't it just? Yeah.
Ted Lasso.
No.
That's quality television.
I mean, do we want them to do another season?
I don't know now. I mean, it's come full circle. It's been beautifully done. It's had an ending.
Do you know, I think what they should do is do another season of The Orville.
Mm-hmm.
And just like they found a way to bring Dolly Parton into The Orville, they should bring Ted Lasso into The Orville. I mean,
we're taking 300 years into the future.
How is that not a bad idea? I mean, that's got to be.
It'll be a holodeck type episode, won't it?
Yeah.
Mercer will go to the holodeck looking for some kind of leadership inspiration,
somewhere to coach the team.
Yes.
Yeah, and they'll have
that'll work.
Ted Lasso. Yeah, I think it really would. That'd be amazing. Where's Riker?
Dan, where's the dog?
Oh, Riker. He was booked to attend but cancelled at the last minute.
Other commitments again.
Was his other commitment licking his own arsehole? Not that I'm saying Frakes does that.
He's had a growth spurt.
Oh.
If you see his paws, his massive paws, he's going to have another one, I think.
Well, I think now would be a
So
good...
Riker went into a bar and said, "Excuse me, barman. Pint, please." And the barman said, "Why the big paws?"
When I say that a growth spurt, this is how big he now is.
My son said to me today, "What's it like to be married?" So I told him to leave me alone. And then a few minutes later, I asked him why he was ignoring me. And on that note, I think it's time for a quick word from this week's sponsor.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So a quick word from this week's sponsor.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to remember that we do love doing this show. We do it for the love, but without our sponsor, we can't afford to do this show. So,
Beneres ne confetto tipo magico te kitchen gizmo. Non ve lo proboschis molto molto che nagrofos. Te facilos action pumpo. Zo, ne shopping mia colo te kitchen gizmo.
Au kitchen gizmo.
So please get online and buy yourself a kitchen gizmo now.
So much more useful than just straining pasta. Tenderizing steak and, I don't know,
Just for the look on...
flambeing your baked Alaska.
It's for the look on Dan's face.
Should we see it again?
In case you didn't get that web address.
Beneres ne confetto tipo magico te kitchen gizmo. Non ve lo proboschis molto molto che nagrofos. Te facilos action pumpo. Zo, ne shopping mia colo te kitchen gizmo.
Au kitchen gizmo.
Function Pompino.
It's a pompino vatanas. Daddy knows kitchen gizmo. Pano gizmo. Pop. Oh, dear.
So anyway, here's Carl with this week's collectible.
Stay tuned next week for next week's sponsor. Oh dear. Would you like to know more?
This week in the news.
Do you want to play the? Shall I play the news sting?
Yeah, go on.
We got a real news one, or still just
We
a
had
fake
fake
one?
news and real news. That's
It doesn't look like it. I mean, we've got a. No, we haven't got a new. Yeah, here we are.
So, wow.
What's the news, Dan?
I was going to say, this week in the news, it's
Dan, Dad, can you move slightly to your right? You're kind of off centre.
Up a bit.
Bit more.
So it's very hot in here.
Okay.
So this week in the news has been very much
Prodigy got cancelled.
focused in real life on a submarine that went missing. And unfortunately,
The Titan, yes.
yes, things didn't go very well for it. But it got me thinking about all the Star Trek episodes where there was just, random shuttles, just floating around with one person and it all gone missing. Because size-wise, interior size-wise, isn't that dissimilar, really?
Well, there's that great episode with friend of the show Dominic Keating and friend of the show Conor Trenair, where
Shuttlepod 1.
They were stuck in a shuttle pod. It was the first one, Shuttlepod 1, and they got stuck in that for some time.
Yes.
Didn't that was when they were supposed to read it from a script, and we had to go to the bar.
Yes,
Was
we
that-
went to
yeah.
go and get them drinks. Yeah.
There's also TNG episodes with. I'm trying to think of TNG episodes that are in.
Well, there's never one that goes missing. But are you going to talk about the shuttle pod?
Well, I was thinking that the Riker Spears shuttle pod is probably about the same sort of dimensions as this
Well,
submarine. isn't it?
it's almost exactly the same dimensions because it's screen accurate.
No, it was this submarine that went missing.
Oh, as opposed to the Titan, no, it's fair size smaller than the Titan.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon we could
Titan's
assume.
a crew of 5. The Riker's Beard shuttle has a crew of 2.
But you can
You
fit
probably
5 in
get
it.
5 jockeys in there.
Well, you could
Yeah.
really cram 5 people in if you tried, I suppose. Yeah, you're
What?
very sociable.
Yeah. You'd have to sort of crap in a bag, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you could just get out because it's not actually in space.
No.
Hmm.
It's underwater.
Anyway, so what about the submarine, Dan?
No, it just got me thinking to all the episodes where people are stuck in ships and things in Star Trek.
I like
Yeah.
the one when Wesley's on his way to the academy and the shuttle crashes.
Hmm.
And there's that balmy captain who's got his flask of alcohol. And and Wesley has to solve the puzzle of the water to save them all. That was a good episode, that.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
like
I like
season 7 or something, isn't it? That one?
Yeah, it's good. Well, no, it's earlier than that. But
Is
but it was a good one. I like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. There's no more news, really.
Mm.
Oh,
Star
is
Trek.
it? The themes have been announced for Destination
Have they?
Oh,
Trek.
if you could.
Tell us
Now,
more.
it might be in my head. Is there a Ricernite theme? Because I've been looking online to try and find. So I want to cosplay Picard in Captain's Holiday. So I need an unbuttoned cotton shirt. But have you seen
And a posing patch.
Have you seen the swimming trunks he wears? I've been Googling them, and now the stuff that's coming up in my Facebook timeline, oh my God. Like the stuff that's been coming up is like, wait,
Have you still got your Borat Mankini?
don't think I've ever had one.
Oh.
Is it true that James is coming cosplaying as a giant Horgon?
A what?
A giant Horgon.
Oh, that's the
So we'll just stand like that all day.
oh gosh, that looks uncomfortable.
Yes, who seeks Jamaharon?
I seek an early night. No, not for that. I like to get up and go to the gym in the morning.
I've heard that Richard is planning to set off the sprinklers and then claim that he's Worf and that he's altered the planets.
That would
Well,
be me, yeah. But everyone can everyone go to bed? You're making far too much noise.
Yes. My name is Worf. I don't like fun.
I enjoy fun, just in moderation.
He does like fun when he's wandering around with that sword in Picard season 3 and goes, "Swords are fun."
As unfortunately, I know the entertainment has been booked. It won't be done by 9 o'clock. Sorry,
Isn't
guys.
one of the nights? There's a Ricer night. There's a black tie night.
Mhm.
Isn't there a karaoke night as well? No. I'm sure someone said there was a karaoke night. Someone sent me a message about bringing my guitar. I'll have to look through it and figure who that was. Okay.
Right. So what? I know there's a
You
DJ.
sent me a message.
I know there's a DJ. And
Someone
I
sent
know.
me a message saying, "Can I bring my guitar to do some songs for something?" I can't.
Can you
remember.
play Never Gonna Give You Up on repeat for 3 hours?
God Almighty.
Not on my guitar. No, I'll get cramp.
There is talk of karaoke. Yes.
Well, I'm happy to do my guitarioke.
You're normally banned because you're too good, aren't you?
Well, I've done guitarioke, which is where I get up on stage and people can name a song and I'll play it and they can sing it, which is normally good fun. But yeah,
Isn't that what Elton's currently doing at the moment at Glastonbury right now, live?
well, this seems terribly unfair. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where Emma's taking this. If I'm honest with you,
Well, shall we just leave him to it then?
I think we'll take it as a compliment. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, Ricer, karaoke, and what else?
Black tie.
Yes, black tie
is
night.
not a theme.
It is going to be a theme. It's going to be dress uniform, or if you don't have one, black tie.
Right, okay.
So you have a dress uniform,
Yes, and I have a black tie.
and I don't have a dress uniform, so I shall be wearing a black tie.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'll probably wear those Picard Speedos.
All right, okay. So there we have it. There are the themes.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, I've run out of energy today. If I'm being quiet, I've just got no energy left. I have completely run out of.
That's fair enough. I mean, it's a good job that Emma's suggestion here has not been acted upon.
You know when you just have one of them days when you've mentally had enough and you just think, you know, I can't.
I know what you mean. Emma said this, and then straight away, look.
Oh, look, Mark's turned up. Hello, fake Carl.
Is he?
Yes, he's up there. Should we dial Mark in and he can do collectible corner?
Hey, Mark. Budgie smugglers. No, they're kind of they're like these silver. I don't know how to explain them. They're not Speedos.
Right.
Hot
Okay.
pants.
Dan, have you got access to our group chat?
Yes.
Have you got access to the 6 photographs I sent earlier for I Made This?
I can't share.
That would involve the fact that I've actually looked at the group chat in the last couple of weeks. Let me have a quick look.
Okay, because none of us have the means by which we can show the pictures.
Richard does.
He doesn't.
No, it comes up with a black screen for some reason on this computer. Not fan of it.
Right. Okay. Give me 2 minutes. I'll get it to work.
Okay. Well, play the I Made This sting and I'll explain what the pictures are while Dan's getting them ready.
Okay, right.
All right. You want me to be ready that quickly? Okay.
That was fun, wasn't it? Right, so over in the States, the news is that there is a fan film series being made called Farragut Forward. It's a sequel to Starship Farragut, which is a TOS era fan series, and they've now moved forward into the movie era. And so they've been very busy building sets and so on. I've sent a selection of photographs to Dan to share with you, and let's see if he's in a position to get any of them up. There we go. So here's the first one. Here's somebody standing on the bridge of the Farragut, which is a Miranda class.
Oh, is that an actual man? I thought it was like a really crap play figure.
No, that's an actual man.
He looks plastic.
I don't think he's going to be pleased to hear you say that, Dan.
Sorry. Okay.
So there we go. Here's someone else sitting on the bridge. Now have a look at that bridge set. That's not bad, is it?
I've seen worse.
Hmm.
Hell, I've paid to have my photos taken on worse.
Yeah, so there's not too many movie era sets out there. This is the only one I think I've seen. That's a pretty good shot of someone sitting at, I don't know, probably the tactical station. Costumes look pretty good, don't they?
They do.
I believe they've made all those chairs as well. So you see the captain's chair there. It's not my favourite design of captain's chair, I'll be honest with you, but they've done a very creditable job of making that.
She's doing the old sniffing the fart acting technique there.
Isn't that the fold of arms that we see on the Excelsior in Search for Spock.
I think it's more the Enterprise the refit as seen in motion picture, but yeah, it could well be on the Excelsior. Don't know if we ever get a really good look at.
Yeah, that's everything.
So there you have it. Looks rather good, so I'm keen to see that when that's released. Oh, it is hotter than a camel's armpit in this room.
It's quite pleasant here.
Oh, you're in the north, aren't you? What is it, 19 degrees or
16.
16?
16, it's like 28
You
here.
put your sun cream on.
I have had the big fan on today. I haven't yet had to go and get the big coat out. So it's...
No, you just need to wear the bow tie and the silver shorts, Christoph. You'll be fine.
Or go to the gym. Yeah, some ice probably. Well, if we've run out of features then, shall we go to the pub, Richard?
Well,
That's got air conditioning.
Emma would like to see Dan do this solo, so we could just totter out to the pub, couldn't
Or
we?
we could go and watch Elton John. We could nip over to Glastonbury.
Do you know, I don't even know where Glastonbury is. Where is it? Is it
It's
in
in
the...
Somerset.
I'm tapping out. I will speak to you later.
All right, good night, Dan.
Night, Dan.
So, yes, we're going to go to the pub where they've got air conditioning and ice.
How are we going to get there? Will your
Why don't you stand on the back of my beer scooter?
will your scooter carry both of us?
No.
Are you sure? Would it be fun to find out?
We could try. I think the weight
This
limit's 100
This
kilos.
could end very badly.
Have you got a bicycle I could tow you?
I've got a skateboard.
Yes.
Got a skateboard.
You're in your 40s, aren't you?
Well, it's not mine, obviously. It's my children's. There's a couple of important Trek things we need to talk about quickly before we go, and that is, of course, Star Trek events coming up. You know, Destination Star Trek. Destination Trek is coming up in Birmingham,
Before that, though, LFCC.
and I would like to quickly weigh in on some negative comments I've seen propping up. People like already saying how there's no guests been announced, there's no this been announced, all the rest of it. Like, honestly, guys,
Don't sweat it. They'll announce them.
it's really difficult for them to announce anyone full stop. It's certainly very difficult to announce anyone until London Film Comic Con's done. So don't get your knickers in a twist, okay? As always, the best thing about these shows are the people that attend. I think there's been some fabulous guests announced. Anyway, regardless of any further ones that are announced.
Walter Koenig's going to be there,
Yeah,
and he loves us.
well, he doesn't like you. And Marina Sirtis, who likes me.
Has she been?
Well,
Has she been announced?
I thought the Trekkie Girls put she'd been announced.
Hang on, let me check. Carry on. I'll
Well,
check.
she doesn't like me anymore. And, oh, hello! Look, what someone's put a reverse gear in there. Here we go. Look at that! Look at that! How quickly she's back! Look at that! Marvelous.
All right, Emma, we forgive you.
She's too lovely not to forgive, isn't she? The lovely Emma. The lovely Emma. Oh.
Right, guests. Here we go.
Right.
Well, Christina Chong, she's from Strange New Worlds.
She's the Soong ancestor, isn't she?
She is.
Yep.
Rudolph Martin,
Very good
I'm
actress,
afraid I
like
don't
her.
know who that is.
Yep.
Dr. Jamie Gallagher, I don't think he's actually on the show. I think he's a real-life scientist.
Yes, I know him. He's a nice guy.
Jeff Ricketts,
No, sorry.
don't know. Sunita Henry, that's the one with the eyes.
No lines.
No. Gwyneth Walsh, she was in
Ooh,
Generation. She's
yes.
Lursa Orbitor.
Yep.
Nicole de Burr.
Nicole de Burr, genuinely, I think, is a wonderful actress. I thought she did a really good job coming in to fill in the last.
Ethan Phillips, of course, we know is all CGI. Terry Farrell. And Walter Koenig.
Walter Koenig, yeah.
There you have it. No, so Marina doesn't appear to have been
Well, I do think that's a great
announced.
guest
So far.
list. Anyway, now listen, if you're watching the show, we are going to sign a 30 because we're
Too hot.
It's really hot in here. We're going to say that if you're watching the show and if you've enjoyed it, please do hit the like and subscribe buttons if we have them. This helps keeps Dan happy. And in all honesty, when we talk about Star Trek, I know that obviously what we've talked about Strange New Worlds, what we've said probably hasn't been popular with a lot of people. But we think
we're entitled to be disappointed.
Well, I think the minute you stop the minute you don't sort of weigh in with your own opinion, it stops people from pushing the back. If you just say everything's wonderful when you're not happy with it,
Yes.
then you've got to hit back. So I hope you've enjoyed the show, and if you haven't agreed with us, we don't care. We love you anyway. We really do. Even if you like Discovery, we love you anyway. It's one of those things where you've got to remember that we all got different opinions.
Well, wouldn't the world be a dull place if we were all just the same?
Exactly that. And genuinely, if you want to watch a positive review of Strange New Worlds, please do go onto YouTube and check out the Trekkie Girls review.
From Friday, yes.
As ever, they are the calming yin to our raging yang, and they will give you a very sort of mushy, lovey-dovey.
And you can have a guess at which team has drunk most.
Well, I don't think I was drinking while I was watching it. The Trekkie Girls clearly were. And on that bombshell, we'll have a quick word from our sponsor. No, we won't. Shall we do
the Loblaws frozen food clip instead?
Okay, go on then. That is
Might just make us feel more chill.
That's almost as good as the Milwaukee.
Hey, right now, Loblaws is having a huge frozen food sale. You can get tremendous value on over 50 frozen food items, frozen vegetables, frozen meat entrees, frozen concentrated juices, ice cream. If it's frozen, you can save plenty. Don't get left out on the cold. Come on in and stock up that freezer. Loblaws frozen food sale. Another reason why more than the price is right. Does he work here?
Outstanding.
Now look after yourselves and each other.
And don't have nightmares.